We've all seen the images. Homes torn apart, trees ripped from the ground, debris strewn everywhere. Tornadoes are one of the most destructive storms on the planet.
Chief Meteorologist Bill Mack traveled to South Carolina for an up-close look at how the swirling winds can tear a house to pieces in the LEX 18 original.
Few images can strike fear into people more quickly than the sight of a violently rotating finger of destruction extending from a cloud. A tornado. You can see the debris flying, you can see the sparks flying as power lines are snapped. Well, even in the smallest tornadoes, the winds can exceed hurricane force. And in the strongest, they can wipe the earth clean.
Kentucky is not considered to be part of Tornado Alley. In fact, our part of central and eastern Kentucky only averages about 7 tornadoes per year. The vast majority of these are the smaller EF0s and 1s. But it's their bigger cousins, the EF2s and up, that do the most damage. The last EF2s and 3s in our area, 5 years ago, in that horrible tornado swarm on March 2nd, 2012, when more than a dozen people died and property loss was in the millions in eastern Kentucky. We were the first and only Kentucky TV station to travel to South Carolina and the Insurance Institute for Business and Home Safety and their unique facility that can actually create the wind of a tornado and its effects on a house. These fans and a couple of dozen just like them can simulate the winds of a large hurricane or tornado. They are the ultimate big bad wolf. The Institute built a real house to building code standards similar to Kentucky's inside their wind tunnel to show the effects of an EF2 tornado. That's with winds of 115 to 120 miles per hour.
The average Kentuckian's home is not built to withstand severe wind storms. The types of events that aren't uncommon in Kentucky shouldn't tear the roof off of a house, shouldn't cause a house to be destroyed. And yet we see that happen.
So what does a 115 mile per hour wind look like and what can it do?
In a lot of cases it won't. In a lot of cases you're talking about losses of some wall structure, some loss of roof structure, but generally speaking you're not totally wiping the slab clean. That would be more EF4, EF5.
By the way, our part of Kentucky has gone more than 40 years without an EF4 tornado. The last ones, and there were 11 of them that day, were on April 3rd, 1974. During severe weather coverage, we always talk about the duck method to stay safe. The downstairs, the under something, the center of the house, and keeping your head down. Well, now you know why we talk about the center of the house. As this house went through tornadic winds, it was the exterior wall that failed. And if you would have been near one of those exterior walls, obviously the results could be catastrophic. So what can you do? Think of your house like your body.
What gives you strength between your bones are ligaments and tendons, the things that tie them together. That's what I would look for in a house. I want to make sure the roof is tied to the walls are tied to each other, and to the floor is tied to the foundation.
There are a couple of things that can be done pretty easily to retrofit your house now. One is attaching hurricane straps or clips to the roof and walls. We were hearing a lot about those after the Lexington Masterson Station tornado. It's important to keep the roof attached. The other, getting a reinforced garage door. Its failure during the test led to the wall collapse.
Of course, it's interesting to see how the winds of a tornado damage a house there in real time in a controlled environment. But of course, a tornado is anything but a controlled environment. But they're doing real research there in South Carolina. Part of that research we are now bringing to you. We're going to be the first place that you're going to hear this new information on how to stay safe in case of severe weather. Now, we've always told you about the duck method for staying safe. We're now calling it sea duck. The new piece of research, when you have the time, close your interior doors. What that does is it compartmentalizes the damage potential. And of course, everything else then that goes with the duck method that we've talked about here for years. It's just another way for you to stay safe when weather is severe. There's no severe weather in the LEX 18 Storm Tracker forecast. It's coming up right after this.